What's going on, gangsters of the world? How's it going, everybody? So, let's jump right into this, shall we? The best feeling on earth. What makes us feel just incredible? Like, there's stimulating things that make us feel stimulated. They stimulate us. We get a rush, we get a high, we feel energized, but it's short, not long lasting. And usually after those stimulating, highly exciting things, whether it's foods, stimulating foods, sex, um, it's usually going to be like action, sex, food, stuff like that. Anything that stimulates you, that just, we've got nerves. Our brain is just like this complex collection of billions of neurons and nerves, and our body also full of nerves. And when those nerves are excited, it's an incredible feeling, right? It's a rush, it's a high. But then there's that crash when whatever has stimulated you is gone, whether it's attention from the opposite sex, that sense of desire is left, right? So desire. Once the stimulation is gone, comes and goes, we're left with this space, this vacuum of that feeling that was once there. And in order to get that feeling back, we're going to try to do the same thing again. We're going to realize that we're going to need to do more of it. Because our senses, our nerves, it's almost like glass. And at first, for example, on the what encases our nerves, there's this material called myelin. And the way that I see it, the way that I at least the way I believe, is it's like those nerves are at the beginning when let's say we drink water all the time, the nerves are healthy, but then we stimulate it with something else. As we stimulate, like let's say with Coke or just something sweet, when you stimulate it, you're exciting the nerves, but you're also dulling them. They're becoming a bit dull. Okay? So it's like we're using them, we're working them. Okay? When you overwork the nerves, then simple things like water are no longer exciting anymore. The nerve has been dulled down, so it needs more to feel excited again. Okay? In a similar way, if you do the opposite, let's say, what's the opposite? So if you've got water and then Coke and then rum and Coke or whatever, those are the examples I always use. But it's also like you can use any example. Food, yeah, you're just eating, let's say, good, healthy, whole foods from the ground, from the earth. And then it's like, no, I want more salt. I want more oil. I want it to be salty and stimulating. I want it to stimulate my taste buds, right, and my brain. I want it to excite me. So what would the opposite be? The opposite would be if, let's say, going the other way. So you've got water, Coke, rum and Coke, and God knows what else with. The other way would be, let's say you don't have water. You do a hard training session and you fast. Or forget about the hard training session, let's just say you fast. So the absence of water. By doing that, you do the opposite. So when you drink water, it suddenly now is like the equivalent of you having that ice cold, sweet, delicious rum and Sprite or whatever drink, tropical cocktail. That water now, you've just turned it into something amazing, right? That's how gratitude works. So we always have to keep ourselves in check. We got to keep your nerves, keep your um, senses in check. You don't want to burn them out. As you use them more, let's say if you're having a lot of sex or watching a lot of porn, then the porn becomes like water. It's no longer stimulating. You need now to watch porn that's at another level rather than just a girl and a guy porn. It's got to be two girls and a guy or two guys and a girl, whatever. Yeah, and then uh, that's not going to work anymore because you're constantly hitting that, and then you're going to need. I'm not even going to mention where that can lead. But then you'll see people that have problems, when it comes to things like erectile dysfunction. They won't be able to enjoy sex because when they're at home with their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, um, it's just not going to be enough. You want three girls or three guys, or you want whatever. You just need more. Yeah. So we've got to protect and take care and make sure that our senses are healthy so that we can maximize our enjoyment in this life. The point of this channel really is about how to enjoy your life to the fullest. That's the point. We're not trying to be spiritual or whatever, or trying to be on this, try to be on our best behavior. No, no, no. We're here to enjoy life to its fullest. And it's about being smart. It's about being more intelligent, using your mind so that you can enjoy life to the max, so you can enjoy it for as many years as possible. Look around you. Look at the world we live in. People are suffering more and more depression, anxiety. Look at all these musicians. Chester from Linkin Park committed suicide recently. Chris Cornell, a month or so ago, the same. Why? Because I'm from that world. I'm from that music world of alternative music. I was into those guys' music when I was, in my teens, into Soundgarden, into all of that. It's like the music is great. It's a great release. It's a great expression. Art, music are incredible forms of expressing yourself and communicating. But I talk to a lot of my clients, especially my clients who are artists and musicians, which I have a lot of, and I'm very frank with them. If you look at like all these musicians like Elliott Smith and beyond who have killed themselves, why? Because they're reinforcing thoughts and beliefs that aren't serving them. Okay? There's nothing glorious about killing yourself. There's nothing glorious about it. I've been there myself, had those thoughts. As I said, I've come from alternative underground music. I know that world inside and out. I've been in a band, from the grassroots level, touring, sleeping on people's floors, going from town to town. I know exactly what that world is like. And there's a glorification of being depressed, a glorification of being this struggling, suffering artist. For me, my eyes were opened when I got involved with martial arts, because martial arts is about not giving up. It's about, yes, life is difficult. You're going to get punched in the guts. You're going to get punched in the head. And when you fall down, you're going to get punched even more. And martial arts is about how to keep going, how to get back on your feet, how to get back up, how to strengthen yourself. And strengthening yourself starts with the mind, starts with the thoughts. So my view, my thoughts on you know, musicians, artists that struggle with depression. I've come from that. I've come from years and years of being in this, under this warm, comforting blanket of depression. You know, it's because they are constantly in around, people who are like that, or thoughts who are like that. It's not that, all people who are in art and alternative music are depressing. No, no, not at all. They're amazing. They're incredibly cool people in all realms. There are dicks in music, dicks in martial arts. There are douchebags everywhere. There are cool people everywhere, and then there are dicks everywhere, everywhere. But with music, I'll give you an example. For example, with Elliott Smith, who's an incredible musician, one of my favorites, but his music is incredibly depressing. Incredibly depressing. You've got to be careful listening to that. And it's, you know, a lot of these people, they just were not aware. They were not educated. They had the imbalance. You know, it's great to release and express your feelings, but to every day be going on stage repetitively, repeating things like almost all of Elliott Smith's songs were about exes, and heartbreak. And, one song that comes to mind is the lyric goes, "Everything reminds me of her," or "Everything reminds me of you," something like that, right? Imagine repeating that over and over and over and over and over and over again. Remember, thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs become who you are. So you've got to be very careful what you're thinking. If you look at Tai Chi, the Tai Chi is incredible art form, where the forms are all about thoughts, about beliefs, lifting the moon out of the earth, parting. If you study, or if you look into Tai Chi, and it's not just Tai Chi, there are so many practices that are similar, but I was blown away when I started doing Tai Chi. I don't practice Tai Chi. I'm not a Tai Chi expert, but I got the gist of it when I did it a few times. I have a friend who has educated me on it a lot. And the forms are amazing. The forms are a lot of visualizing. They're very meditative. They're like, for example, you're going to stand and you're going to imagine roots growing out of the soles of your feet deep into the ground. That is powerful thinking. And imagine warriors or fighters or people, long ago, who would go into battles, and before they would prepare themselves by strengthening their minds, with powerful imagery and beliefs and thoughts. That's where it all stems from, thoughts. So imagine if every day the thought that you're repeating is, "Everything reminds me of her," right? And imagine how that's influencing people who are listening to that constantly every day, right? Are you going to move on from your ex if you're going to be listening to that over and over and over and over again? It's okay to listen to it a few times and release and cry and vent, express. Expressing is important, but we don't want to dwell on it, right? And this is what a lot of musicians lack. A lot of artists lack. I come from this world. I was at art school. I went to art school. I studied fine art, painting. I was drawing naked people. It was awesome, except for when I came in late one day, and it wasn't awesome when the only spot available was right in front of a guy who was sitting there with his legs wide open and his thing hanging out, and that was the only spot that nobody wanted to take. Right? I had to do that. And I painted the whole thing, and I left out his junk. It was quite funny painting at the end of the day. But the point I'm trying to make is, I know this world. I know this world inside and out. I'm still involved with it. I'm still touring. I'm still in a band. I'm still writing music, recording, touring. I know the world really well. It's a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs involved, you know, and we're lucky. Those of us who have, I'm incredibly blessed that I found, a lot of great knowledge passed down from a lot of amazing people. Life is, I had an amazing session a couple of days ago. One of the people I'm working with, who he knows who he is, incredibly proud of this guy. He's been working really hard, and he's seeing the changes big time. He's seeing the changes because he's put in the work and he's put in the discipline. The people who I see who are who are really like making, I don't know how to phrase it, but who are making progress, making the most progress. They're they're doing things that are a little difficult. Okay, for example, almost everyone I work with at some point wants to contact their ex, and they'll come up with some excuse of why they need to contact their ex. All right, it will be some reason. Now, or the ex will contact them, and they will jump to reply, or not be able to resist the temptation. It's like an itch. It's an itch, right? Now, if you can resist that itch, it's hard. It's so hard. I know, I've been there. It's hard. But if you can resist it when it comes, whether it's like you want to contact them or they're going to contact you, I'll use my client as an example. He he was he was struggling, at first, just like all of us are. And it's hard coming out of, and he was in a long relationship for about 8 years, and going to get married and all of this, um, and for a couple of months was very difficult for him, and he was very close to contacting his ex, but he didn't. He was strong, and 2 days later, she contacted him. She made contact with him. The reward of him being able to be strong and disciplined and not scratch that itch was amazing. It was so quick, and it always is. It always is like this. It's just strange. It's strange, but one day we're going to figure out why this is happening. But the tables turned once he was able to do that. And it's going to lead me to the point of this video. The thing that makes us feel the most amazing. It's not the stimulating things. It's not the itch. That's what stimulates you. When you itch a scratch, it's stimulating. It feels amazing. It feels so good. But for how long? A few seconds? A minute? A few minutes? Then you feel like shit because you've just opened up that wound more. It's going to have to heal again. You're going to go through the itch again, because when it heals, that's when it itches. When it starts to heal, it's when it starts to itch. It's like a test. If you can pass that test, the rewards are strength. You'll be proud of yourself. You'll feel amazing. It's an amazing feeling. This is where he is now. And this happened a month or so ago. So he's been building and making incredible progress, more progress since then. And he's not the only one. He's one of many people who, usually the people that make the most progress are the ones who have had enough pain and they are really switched on and they've had enough. So let's just talk real quickly about what makes us feel amazing. There's a few things, but the one I want to talk about today is when we have a sense of accomplishment, when we do something When we say we're going to do something and we do it. When we feel productive. When we feel productive, when we do something that's productive. And the opposite makes us feel like shit. If you're on Tinder all day swiping, you're going to feel like shit. If you've just been on, jerking off all day to porn or, whatever, it's going to feel amazing at the time, stimulating, right? Tinder is stimulating, right? Or Bumble or whatever. Stimulating at the time. You're getting your fix. You're getting to itch, that scratch. But then how does it feel after? It feels terrible. Why? Because you feel like you've wasted your time. It feels like you've been unproductive. Okay? The word is feeling relevant. The word is feeling like you have purpose on this earth. That's at the end of the day, where all this happiness and pleasure and fulfillment stems from. When we feel useful, when we feel we have purpose, when we feel we've been productive. So if you understand this, then you can manipulate this. You can hack this, as one of my clients says, hacking life. Actually, it's the same client. He says, and I love that, he says this is hacking life. It is hacking life. If you understand what are the things that truly make you feel good, and what are the traps that you think will make you feel good, but really they're going to make you feel like more shit. At the end of the day, it's about intelligence. It's about, are you going to just go for that sweet, salty, or whatever it is, stimulating thing that's going to give you a quick fix? Or are you going to be a little bit more disciplined, use more of your intelligence so that you can plan in the long run to have more happiness? That's the goal. The goal is you want to be happier. You want to enjoy life more. That's our goal. You can be smart about it or you can be not so smart about it. You can go for the quick short term or you can go for long term. Or you can do what I am always going on about on this channel, balance, right? There's nothing wrong with having some of that stimulating, have a bag of chips. There's nothing wrong with going on Tinder. There's nothing wrong with watching some porn, enjoying yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But you've got to keep it in check. Okay? You've got to be in control of it. Remember, what is an addiction? Addiction is when something controls you. When something is taking control of your life. When you have no control over it. So many of us are like, yeah, I can quit that if I want. Well, just then try it. What you're doing with your life right now is your life. So if you're spending all day long, thinking about whatever it is that's controlling your life, or doing whatever it is that's controlling your life, then you've got to really ask your question of, are you in control of your life or are you being controlled? Are you a slave to some other things? But when you're in control, that's when you're going to get to enjoy your life more because you're going to be able to direct your attention and your focus onto whatever it is. And it's going to be things that serve you, things that build you, things that make you enjoy life more. And what are those things? When you feel that sense of being productive. When I go to the gym, when I do push-ups, when you understand that you can hack life, manipulate these things once you understand what they're all about, you can do little sneaky things. Like, my goal for today is going to be to do 5 push-ups. Just do them. It's easy. You're going to feel amazing. Checking things off a list, to-do list, feels amazing. When you write a list of things, like I'm going to do this, and then you do it, even if it's I'm going to do 1 push-up a day, or if it's I'm going to do 1 minute of meditating a day, just do it. Set your goals, set them as low as you want. It's okay, but just do it. Just do it, and you're going to immediately see that reward. You're going to feel amazing. So when you do work, when you go to the gym, when you eat healthy, or whatever it is, it's not because you're eating healthy. It's not because you're exercising. Yes, of course, there are some benefits associated with the endorphins. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel more able. When you eat better, the same thing. You're going to be healthier, more able. You're going to be able to do more. But it's not just about that. There's something else that's going on. It's deep inside at a subconscious level, you feel proud of yourself. You feel strong. You feel able. You feel in control of your life. You feel productive. You feel like you have purpose, right? So, know all this and manipulate the hell out of it. Abuse it. Abuse this knowledge. Abuse it to your own advantage. What's the point? What's the purpose? Is for us to enjoy life to the fullest, and to spread that to everybody around us, to enhance the life of the people who are around us so they can also enjoy their lives. And that our pets and our animals and just our environment will flourish when we are flourishing. So understand what true enjoyment really is. It takes a wiser mind. It takes a little more intelligence to understand what true enjoyment is. It takes a little bit more awareness to understand that to keep scratching an itch, a cut, it's going to keep that cut there. You're going to have that cut. But if you can be strong, withstand that test, the test of the itch, then the cut will go and your life's going to be more enjoyable. You're not going to have a rash. You're not going to have this ache, this emptiness, this loneliness, this addiction, this need, this lack. Life without that is so much more enjoyable. I was there. I had that. And I will again. We will all go through this. The same client, he said something really cool the other day as well in one of our sessions. He said, can't remember exactly what it was, but it was along the lines of, he said, bad things are always going to happen in life. And we both agreed the word bad wasn't maybe the perfect word for it, but the truth is we're always going to get punched. We're always going to get hit. It's going to happen. It's just part of life. But happiness and enjoyment isn't avoiding that. It's learning how to engage with that. Because we suffer and we go through much more pain because we resist, we hide, we bury, we avoid. But when we learn how to engage with difficulty, difficulty is no longer difficult. Difficulty becomes easy, becomes much easier, much more manageable. And just like everything in life, we've got to know how to engage with difficulty. Right? But from an early age, we're not taught these things, simple things. What are those simple things? Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of the things that are going on in your mind, your beliefs, the thoughts, the beliefs. Words are super powerful. I'm going to do a video on that soon. The power of words is amazing. So if I hear a song lyric, or if Chester from Linkin Park is repeating whatever, I don't want to say negative thoughts and beliefs, but let's just call them beliefs and thoughts that might not be serving him. If he's repeating them on stage every day, life is hard, life is fucked up, or whatever the lyrics are, or everything reminds me of her, or the list of 100 80s songs, they're all about, I can't live if living is without you. Yeah, stuff like that. I can't live if living is without you. Is that going to help? Listening to that all day long? Yes, it's a freaking amazing song. The melodies are amazing. And I would love to sing that song on full blast in the shower. I will love, it's enjoyable. right? It's that itch, it's that tempting itch. But we've got to remember that what we do repetitively, what we think repetitively, over and over and over again, it becomes a belief, it becomes a part of us, it becomes a habit. So we've got to be very, very mindful. We've got to be very careful, full of care over what we are doing over and over again, whether it's thinking, talking, writing. Okay, so when I was going through difficult times, or when I'm coaching people who I'm working with who are going through difficult times, we stay away from all that stuff just for a while, or at least we reduce it. Reduce the sad songs, the sad movies, anything, the foods, the people, anything that might be bringing us down. It's not permanent. We don't want to live our life in a bubble, in a monastery where everything is just perfect and blissful. No, that's not life. That's not the world we live in. But when you're going through it, through a very difficult time, because let's say you put all your happiness and expectations for happiness on something else, whether it's a girl, a guy, a job, whatever it is. Mostly it's relationships, right? It's people, but it can be other things. Weed, I smoke a lot of weed, but I don't depend. My happiness isn't dependent on it. I take breaks too. I love being sober. I love being clear-headed. I love being out in nature. Balance, right? So fill your life with balance. It shouldn't all just be about a girl or a guy. There's much more to life than relationships. There's much more to life than sex and relationships. Yes, those are amazing parts, aspects of life. But there's way more to life than that. And if you find that your life is just about one or two things, like your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife, and your work, just one or two things, think about injecting and bringing more diversifying. Diversify your happiness, your source of happiness and health. Diversify your sources of happiness and health in life. So that if one of those things goes for some reason, which that's life, nothing's going to last forever. Nothing. Okay? It's a part of life. Accept it. Accept that things are going to come and go. Accept that. So when you can fill your life with more diverse things, for those of you who have been following my new Instagram that I launched, you'll see that I love gardening. I love planting things, but it's not all I do. There's many people that's all they do, right? I also love fighting. I love martial arts. I love training. I also love music, writing music, producing music. I love drawing. I don't necessarily have to be good at these things. I just enjoy them. And yes, at first you might not enjoy them, but you do them more and more. It's just like Tinder. At first you're like, whatever. Or what you do repetitively becomes more of a habit, more of a part of your life. So try to do things that serve you, that lift you up. Make those a habit. I love cooking. I love food. I love eating. I love movies. I love music. It's a long list. I have a long list. I've written it down. It's important to be aware, because if you can put it down on a list, then you can see, oh shit, I might need more things. I'm only depending on my girlfriend, or I'm only depending on food to bring me happiness. Okay? So for all of you that are out there who are listening to this and thinking, fuck, this is true, and I only have just my girlfriend or my boyfriend. That's all I have, my job and my relationship. It's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But slowly, you can't unknow what you now know. So there's a catalytic process that goes on with knowledge. Knowledge is amazing. And once you know things, once you know the truth, we all know the truth. When you hear the truth, you know it. It's just, it clicks. When you hear something that's right, that makes sense, something that you know is going to help you in your life, it's there now. It's in your head. And all you have to do is every day move closer towards it. So fill your life with more goals, with more activities that serve you, or at least write them down. What are the activities that serve you? It can be playing chess with your friend. It can be reading. It can be playing the guitar. It can be drawing. It can be learning a new language. It can be salsa dancing. Go learn how to dance. You'll meet cool people. It can be starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Could be starting to learn a new instrument or starting to learn some computer programming, whatever it is. But try to avoid spending too much time on this, okay? Limit that, Use that as a tool. Don't let this use you, right? All right, everybody. So I hope this helps a little bit. Remember, make some notes sometimes. I encourage you guys to make notes because we can forget. We'll go off, we'll watch a video or we'll hear something cool, then we'll go off into the world and then we'll forget. So that's why I'm a huge fan. I never was, until 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm a huge fan of journaling, writing things down, making lists, keeping them close by. Because words are super powerful. Words trigger thoughts. This is why you have masters of branding and marketing and communication, like Donald Trumps of the world, who know how to use words to manipulate people's thoughts and beliefs. And he can use that to influence not just him, but almost everyone who's got a big microphone and a big spotlight on them can do that, including this channel, the people that I'm reaching. So be very careful about what you are thinking, what you're writing, what you're listening to. Make sure, ask the question always, does this serve me? All right? Keep your eyes out on stimulating itches and understand that there are rewards for your discipline and your patience. If you can resist that itch, if you can resist it, and it's not even that hard, that's the thing. It's not even that hard. I've been there. I know. There are much more difficult things in life. Much more. It's just that we've put things out of perspective, right? The fact is we're all living really in an amazing, well, not all of us, sadly, but the majority of us in the Western civilized world are living a dream life. We don't have to worry about plague, Black Death. We don't have to, and this is just 100 years ago. People were being killed in the masses because of diseases, because of bugs, because of war. We used to go to war with each other in the hundreds of thousands with swords and axes. Can you imagine that? Chopping each other to pieces? That's just horrific, right? We don't have to do that. Only 70 years ago, people were storming beaches and freaking bullets. Even today it's happening, So we are seeing things out of perspective. So it's important to keep your perspective sharp in a way that trains you. That's why gratitude is so important. Not just goals, not just activities that serve us, but gratitude, being grateful, because gratitude helps to remind us of all that we have. And it conditions your mind, it strengthens your mind, so that when you get punched and you fall down, when, let's say, you just met someone and everything's going amazing, and then 2 weeks later, this person just has a complete change of heart and leaves, or something disappointing happens, that your whole world is not going to fall apart, because you still have your self-love, you have your foundation of the most important relationship of all, your relationship with yourself. And what does that consist of? Your goals, the activities, the things you love to do, gratitude, your ability to be grateful. All right? So I'm sending everybody out there all the very best. I hope there's something in this video that helps. And stay focused. Our goal is ultimate enjoyment, and that stems from health. You know, being healthy in the way we think, in the way in our body, in our mind. That stems from our environment, the people who we spend time with, the foods that we put in our body, the music we listen to, the books we're reading. And as I said, balance is important. You don't need to be like a monk, you know, where everything's perfect. No, but if you are coming from a very traumatic experience of some kind of loss, then yeah, you might need to be in monk mode for a while just to bring that balance. You know, whether it's 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, give yourself that time. Release yourself of the pressure of having to date and be with someone. You don't have to. Release yourself of that. Enjoy yourself. Reestablish a strong connection with yourself. Fall in love with yourself again and with your life again. And then never let that go. Always keep at least 60% of that strong. Even if you find the most gorgeous girl or the most gorgeous guy, the perfect relationship, even if you find that relationship and you get married, still protect and nurture your self-love, yourself, right? That's how you're going to give them love. Wasn't it Whitney Houston? That's a great 80s song, who said, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all, right? All right, so not all 80s songs are limiting or not helpful. All right, everybody. Sending everybody out there all the best, and hit me up if you're interested in more info on private coaching. Otherwise, keep watching the videos. Not just mine, there's tremendous videos out there, lots of amazing books, lots of amazing wisdom out there. You don't need to know all of it. You don't need to know all of it. Just learn a few things and then put them into practice. Have a few bites, then chew them, digest them. And when they are absorbed in part of you, then have a few more bites. But you don't need to like go on a crazy, try to learn everything all in a month. No. You've got your whole life to do that, and it's going to be fun. So learn and then apply, all right? Even if it's just gratitude, whatever, okay? All right, everybody. Adios for now. I'm sore from training. I'm going to go to the beach or go do something cool. All right, talk to you all soon.